Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Love yourself, love your life. Yes, Dr. Ann Creekmore joining us here. She's also an author. We're going to talk more about her book and, of course, the work she does as a psychologist in Virginia. By the way, that's the website, isn't it?
Correct. You got it.
Perfect. All right. So psychologist, hold on. The way it's spelled on my end, it says psychologist in Virginia with an S. Is that wrong? Because it's not working. Just want to confirm.
Yes, psychologist is plural in
Got it.
Virginia. Mhm.
Perfect. Well, for me, it's not working right now, but that's the website. How else do we contact you?
Well, I mean, I've got another website coming up too, one that I used for my nonprofit before, the Love Your Life healingcenter.com. That's the website. And Love Your Life at Outlook would be the email. And you can also email me at Dr. Creekmore at hotmail.com. And that's just spelled out lowercase DRCREEKMORE. At hotmail.com. Even though my books, to make it confusing, are under my maiden name, Filosa.
Got it.
That's how my books will be.
All right. Well, for new timers, we got to get to know you. Tell us a little bit about what you do specifically, how you can help, and then we'll get into conversation for sure.
Sure. Well, I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and I have worked for many years, and I pretty much do all types of therapy. I do individual, family, done group, couples, lots of couples. Family therapy was my specialization when I was in school. I do hypnosis as well. I have a couple CDs that I've done that I did when I was doing groups with my nonprofit. So we recorded them and they're available. But one is for anxiety, depression, addiction, and sleep. And I have another one for reducing disruptive behaviors or imbalances, people who have the complex PTSD or the DID, spectrum kind of issues. To reduce kind of acting out and reduce and improve memory, less amnesia, that kind of thing. I have a couple of those out. I have a couple other books as well that people might be interested in. One we kind of talked a little bit about last week. It's called Find Mr. or Mrs. Right, the Perfect 10, on finding a good relationship, long-term happy relationship. And I have another one actually that's the book that Love Yourself, Love Your Life is about the positive psychology and all the main schools of thought in psychology or psychotherapy that can help people. So you have a little toolkit. It even has like a handout in each chapter, describes the type of therapy, and then, how you can use it with a little handout for each of them. And then I have another book that's called Not Fit for Human Consumption, Triggered Traumatic Memories and the Violence Profile, which is more about what are the darker things that impair us from being our best selves, what are certain egos, if you will, disorders, mental conditions that can get in the way of our being our best self, and goes more into the darker side, but with the idea that, we can heal that. So I've got a lot of things out there. You asked.
Well, amazing. So you work with individuals, couples, families, group therapy. You also do children, adolescents, and adults you can help, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how do you have the time? You do so much. Then you're helping people with workshops. You have your own books. Are you writing another book too?
No, I think this may be it. I had started another book for children, and I might eventually do that. Just a short little kind of thing. But no, right now I'm not doing any.
Got it. Well, let me ask you this, okay? Because as a licensed clinical psychologist, the holidays are upon us, right? Early. Happy Thanksgiving to you, your family.
Yes,
and you have Christmas, you have Hanukkah, you have the New Year. And during the holidays, are you noticing a lot of people? I mean, I'm thinking even couples fighting more, anxiety, stress. What happens during the holiday season? Is there any tips you can give us in your field about getting along through the families with your family through the holiday and all that overwhelm?
Yes, sure. Well, I mean, it's a stressful time. There's a lot more going on. And of course, first of all, try not to overstress yourself. Easier said than done. But think about what's going to make it merry for you as well, and take care of
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And it's more about having that love and peace, and then getting the extra thing done. So trying to keep on track with your own emotions. And of course, you'll be with family members, and things will get triggered, and try to own what you can't change anybody else. You can only really change yourself. So if something happens, maybe that you feel angry about, try to go below it. Say, well, what am I feeling under it? Am I sad? Am I anxious about something? And then what is it that's triggering too? Is it all about this little situation I'm involved in right now, this conflict, or is it triggering, bringing up bigger things and something that can be up for healing? Because we really can't change other people. We can only change ourselves. So it can be an opportunity for personal growth, for healing, and being more aware and releasing negativity.
Got it. Well, one thing I just know, there's a lot of angst around the holidays. Some family members that don't want to be with other people, right? And
Right.
my motto, I don't know if this works for you. I'm like, breathe, breathing meditation techniques. Does that work?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like a lot of times when people come in, they want to work on their anger management or their emotional regulation. And in my book, in chapter 6, Speak Your Truth, it's about the different styles of communication, like, and then also how you can keep yourself chill, when to be able to communicate healthily, to not become, if your standard, whatever that might be, if you're passive, just holding it in, bottling it up, and then maybe getting to the point eventually where you get verbally aggressive because it's built up, and you start making new messages and telling people off, or being passive aggressive, just kind of combo of passive and aggression, where you kind of withdraw or kind of do little things, let the person know you're angry, but don't tell
Mm-hmm.
them. And what you really wanted to do is be able to just communicate, share some feelings and needs,
Yeah.
and make a small behavioral request change of something that would you'd like, and just be able to express yourself calmly.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get there first, right?
Yeah.
You got so,
Mm-hmm.
like you're saying, there in my chapter, it's got about 3 or 4 pages of different tips or techniques, so that you can get yourself to that place of calm, and then you can figure out what you want to say in a healthy way, and say it maybe later. So one of the techniques, like you're bringing up, is breathing, breath work.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, the first technique would be a timeout, like putting your own self in timeout, which is kind of the goal, even with children, to kind of, you're not really trying to punish them if you put them to go. You're really wanting them to think, slow down, don't act out, and kind of breathe and get yourself back to a better place. Because they've actually found that when people become angry, their IQ actually drops like 20 points, 2 standard deviations. So if you're bright, you may be down to below.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you really do want to take, when you get frustrated, just take a step back, go, say, excuse me, I'm going to go get the mail, or walk over here, I got to get that, and just get yourself in a better place and follow your breath. You can just do, there are a variety of breathing things that you can do, like they say, take 10 deep breaths, or you can just do kind of belly breathing, just kind of breathe out and
Okay.
then breathe in, and just kind of stay with it, not controlling it. One that I mention in my book is the triangular breathing. You
Mm-hmm.
kind of imagine a triangle, and then you inhale up like the left side of the triangle, and then you kind of exhale down the right side of the triangle. And then when you get to the bottom, you just relax, you just rest, you just hold. So you just kind of follow your breath, inhale, and then exhale, and then just hold, say rest, relax to yourself. And you can even put, little mantras in if you'd like to. I mean, you could just
Mm-hmm.
breathe up and say peace, and say peace going down, and then, just relax at the bottom. So you find that if you do that, then, after about a minute of doing that, you've actually kind of reduced your blood pressure. You're in a better spot. And um, so what I suggest to clients is that they maybe practice that during, like in the morning, in the evening, every day. And then if they think they're going into like maybe 5 minutes or so, 3 minutes, just get that feel of being able to go into relaxation.
Yeah.
That when you come to a situation you think might be stressful, you're going somewhere and you're going to see someone that might kind of agitate you, and you feel frustrated, then you're all ready to start breathing, doing that triangular breathing before you go in. When you start talking to the person,
Yeah.
you can keep your triangular breathing going. It's not like anyone notices that you're breathing. You're going to be breathing, and so you just kind of keep it going the whole conversation, keep yourself in a calm state of mind and a well-being, peace.
Well, let me also ask, you also do hypnosis, right? And
Correct. Yes.
hypnosis is something I don't think we dove into yet, have we?
We talked the
On one of
last
the
time,
chat.
just real quick.
Did you want to elaborate on the benefits of that? Because you really offer so many different modalities to help someone, which is great. When you do a discovery call, you get to talk to the person to see what, they could benefit from. But also hypnosis is pretty fascinating to me. Could you share a little bit about some of the things that it can help with? Because I know it's a lot.
Right, absolutely. It's basically renewing your mind. So it to a positive place. So it can help with most any negative habits you might have, or kind of states of being. It can help with anxiety, depression, positive thinking, any type of addictions, smoking or alcohol or drug use. It can help with procrastination, motivation. It can help with school, test taking. And, it can help with any kind of like little addictions like, hair picking. I'm just trying to think of different ones. So it's really about helping you get to this place where you basically believe in yourself, where you believe in your good and you're changing your self-talk from negative to positive, where you are at a level to embrace your good and claim your good versus thinking like, I can't do that. I'm no good at that. It can help with self-confidence. That's another one. It can help with flashbacks, trauma, love and trust in relationships. That's another one I use it for. A lot of times couples will come in and there are trust issues. And so it can be very helpful for that. It can be helpful with libido and sexual issues. So it's like it can, really there's, it can help with most things actually. And go ahead.
I didn't know that. Sex and libido.
Well,
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my God, I like to hear this. So I never thought. Do you work with a couple together to with hypnosis, or you do hypnosis one at a time with someone in regards to libido and sex drive?
Well, I mean, it's what the people want, because you can do it in a group. We can do hypnosis in a group or a couple or a family, and it would depend on the issues. If there's similar issues, I mean, of course, I've had people come in, they were both smoking and cigarettes and wanted to stop. So they could both get their hypnosis same time. Even if the issues, in my opinion, are a little bit different, like a libido issue for a male would be different from a libido issue from a female, right? And say a man came in for erectile dysfunction, and but still, you can still do a lot of it together as a couple, because the parts that wouldn't really apply to the person are going to be kind of ignored. This is real by the subconscious. The subconscious is going to absorb whatever you value. Like if it's something you want to do, then it will help you be able to do it because you're in a relaxed state and you're able to absorb these suggestions versus you're in this active mind state where you're arguing, no, I can't do this. but if it doesn't really fit with your value system, it's not like a mind control Manchurian candidate torture situation where you're forced to do something. This is more you being receptive to renewing your mind that you are able to do these things and embrace your good and actualize yourself.
Interesting. All right. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for this. All
Sure.
right. Well, let's just remind everyone, Dr. Ann Creekmore, how we can reach out to you.
Sure. Yeah, you can reach me through email, drcreekmore@hotmail.com. Psychologist in Virginia. I'll spell it out. It's Psychologists. In Virginia, and Virginia, Virginia, .com would be the main website that you could see all of my, my phone numbers and my emails and all the information about my practice and so on in Virginia, and see books and so on there.
Amazing. I love this. Multifaceted. And for those new time listeners out there, could you just share just again, I know because we spoke, what brought you into this field of psychology? Could you just share a little bit of your background?
Sure. I don't, I had just always been very interested in it since, I started kind of reading Freud like when I was 12 years old or so, or Ariadne and schizophrenia, different things. I just always just had an interest in it. And then just, as life goes on, I just pursued it. I don't know, just to give you anything else about it. It was just always a major interest. I remember too, like when young teen, like I like to sit outside in the sun and read young, dream analysis and write dreams up, and you look at the symbols that you would suggest and interpretations. I just had always been super interested in it. Then I knew I wanted to be a psychologist, so I graduated from college in like 3 years instead of 4 because I knew I had all these years ahead of me to get a doctorate. So it made sense to just try to go ahead. I majored in psychology and did mostly just psychology, and then started a couple of weeks later into my doctoral program and graduated in about 4 years from that. And then just started working in the field. So been doing it a long, long time. Just always been very interested in helping people and understanding people at a deep level, getting to root functioning of things. And I think I've had a little easier a lot of times. I did work in hospitals and agencies and, Department of Corrections for a while and so on, some group practice, but I've also had a home office for a long time. And that kind of let me be able to have a little more time. And I think that maybe people would, to write my books and to study more and so on versus having to commute or having to go to the meetings as much. After I had done all I would call that training in all the settings, I've had a lot of time to just be able to continue my practice and work on studying and maybe giving back in books and things to people in workshops.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, thank you for being here. And now, by the way, I know you're based out of Virginia. Are you just able to help those in Virginia, or with your other services, can you work with people virtually like hypnosis across state lines?
Yes. Well, as a licensed clinical psychologist, you have a license in the state that you did your exams and got licensed in. So that would be Virginia for therapies. My understanding is I haven't generally done hypnosis, and life coaching in other areas, but I'm very open to that, to doing that, and to having people, maybe want to do classes on the books, because I've used my books as workshops, for workshops as well as for clients just to use for a workbook. And so I'm open to that. So I'm open to a lot of things. And if people want to reach out to me, just suggest things, I'm open.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. And, as a doctor, you're helping so many different people. Has there ever been a time where you sought the help of a psychologist or a hypnotherapist, or do you kind of do it yourself? How do you, right? How does that work being in the field? And have you ever had to resort to any of your own resources to help you with something around, whether it's personal, family wise, relationship wise, or does everything just come naturally to you where Dr. Creekmore really knows it all? Just curious.
Well, no, I wouldn't say. I think it's always good to be open to self-discovery and help. I know in my doctoral program, we were required to get psychotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
And so to work on our blocks, because we all have triggers and we all have baggage, and we want to become aware of what it is, our own things, so that we don't, project them out onto other people, so that we know how to so of course I've had therapy, and which was very beneficial. And even at one of the hospitals I worked at, which was for adolescents and children unit that I was on, they had us they wanted it was a great place. I mean, there was a lot of good work going on there. And they provided some therapy in groups for us so we could work on our issues, which were very enlightening. So I'd say, and of course, if there was anything that came up, like a lot of times, I might seek some counseling, say if a family member or someone is having a problem, and I want to be beneficial to them, I would seek an outside, perspective to get some help. So over the years, and, or when I, got a divorce, then, I went to get some counseling. I would definitely be open to getting help. I would say, I think we talked last time about romantic relationships, and one of the things I would look for in a relationship is somebody who has had some counseling or some openness to their self-discovery, and be open in the future to work on anything that they might need to. So I think that's a good quality, that people are interested in self-discovery. I think I had a client once that came from Germany, and he said he didn't feel so bad about coming in for
Yeah.
therapy with me,
Mm-hmm.
because that he said, in Germany, everybody's got a family physician, but in America, everybody's got a psychologist or, or helping professional. So he felt like so I think that's a great thing, because everybody's got stuff,
I
that
agree.
can get support and help for.
Beautifully said. All right, we still got 3 minutes left. Dr. Ann Creekmore, what else did you want your listeners and viewers to know about you and your long list of services?
Oh gosh, I feel like I might have covered most everything. I have spent some time on trying to understand, deep things, deeper things, like, disorders and things. And one of the things that I feel that I'm good at is diagnoses. And because I tend to do a really thorough kind of intake assessment when I first meet someone, and really try to get to the roots, even though they're coming in with a problem living, that their adjustment reaction to some stress in life, but what's underlying, really help them at a deeper level. So I feel like I have a lot to offer in that area. Things maybe people might, have come in with misdiagnoses or not enough diagnoses, and stuff that they could just be helped with fairly easily, through therapy, if things are, assessed, if things are brought to the surface and they're willing to work on themselves. So I would say that's kind of something I've been told I'm good at too. So.
Oh, well, Dr. Ann Creekmore, if we want to reach out to you, could you share the phone number or website, any form of contact for us again?
Sure. My number is 804-741-2608. And you're welcome to leave a confidential message. And I don't mind long-winded messages if anyone wants to call me. And the email is drcreekmore@hotmail.com. My books are under Filosa, F as in Frank, I, L as in Lou, O, S as in Sam, A. And just so you can find my books, Love Yourself, Love Your Life is the
Beautiful.
main one now.
All right. Thank you so much. You have a fantastic day, an amazing Thanksgiving to you and your family. And
You
we,
too.
we will connect soon again. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thanks
Ann.
for everything, Jill.
Thank you.
Take
Any
care.
good Thanksgiving plans? What are you doing? Just curious.
Or just a family get together, the usual kind of things. How about you? Anything?
Same thing. I get off of work, so I'm excited about that. My father's coming over. I'm kind of babysitting him because my sister goes to her in-law's house, and I have a 6 and 8 year old. So very mild, just home, quiet, alone, which is what I'm looking forward to.
Lovely. Peace. And
Thank you.
practice that breathing. Yeah.
I'm going to work on the breathing part
Enjoy.
for sure. Thank you
Enjoy.
so much. And to
Thank
all of our
you.
listeners, thank you. We appreciate you. Stay tuned. More of the show's coming right up after the break, guys and gals. Don't go anywhere.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.